I would say, more known for his Magic Online resume than
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Multiple PTQ wins online as we're going to begin. Very quickly here, Jensen is your 4 seed. Sidher is your 2 seed. Yeah. Is Sidher our 2 seed? No, Sidher's definitely not our 2 seed because he'd be going first. Sidher is our
6.
Our 6 seed. Thank you very much. Like, there's no way he chose to draw. That's psychotic behavior.
Kind of lost in the shuffle, correctly, I would say, of Jensen's recent induction in the Hall of Fame is leading up to that, he's been on a real tear in the Open Series. And, looking to add another legacy title, he's been on a pretty impressive run, I would say, these last 6 and 7 months.
Yeah, agreed. So we're going to see a probe start the show here. You can see the hand for Jensen. We got a Ponder. 2 of them, in fact. Going with Sneak Attack, 2 Scalding Tarns, and a Volcanic Island.
So missing some action, but the Sneak and Show opening hands often are. Fortunately, you have Brainstorm and Ponder and Preordained to glue the hand together.
Yeah. Daze the draw step. Or the draw off the probe, excuse me.
And this is, the recipe for beating Sneak and Show involves pressure and then disruption. It cannot just be pure disruption. There's other combo decks, like, for example, Belcher is a really good example of, you go Thoughtseize him, and then you kill them at your leisure. There's no rush. Sneak and Show is not one of those decks.
Yeah. So there is a Trop to start things off. And there's the pressure. It's not Delver.
No.
But it's not a bad start. So let's see what Jensen is going to cobble together in his second turn. Probably going to see much pondering here, right?
Yeah, he just drew a Preordain as well, so he has a lot of cantripping to do this turn.
All right.
There's a lot of tricky stuff that Jensen has to factor in here. He knows that Ricky's deck has both Stifle and Wasteland, so that, has a lot, does a lot to influence the way that Jensen wants to sequence his fetch lands, whether he wants to get Volcanic Islands, whether or not he's willing to expose any of his 2-mana lands. There's a lot in the details for Jensen to consider.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of bobbing and weaving around what this deck can do.
No matter what you're playing, a lot of the recipe for beating Rug Delver is invalidate as much of their disruption as possible. The more that you had to play into Dazes and Spell Pierces and Wastelands and Stifles, the more this deck's power level goes up. The more you're able to ignore those tools, the more that the Rug Delver's power level really falters.
So we see Scalding Tarn getting sacrificed here. Jensen going to move down to 18. And another... Oh, I thought it was going to be another Ponder, but it's going to be a Preordain. So, Scry 2. Looks like some cantrips there. One on top, one on bottom, it looks like.
I think he bought them both.
Think he bought them both? Okay. What if he has a Lotus Petal or anything here? He's just going to pass the turn back. So, 2 cards in the grave here for Sidher. So he's got 5 to go until Threshold. And it's funny because he's got to put the pressure on, but he's got to tread very carefully too.
Yeah. And that's one of the difficult things about playing against Sneak and Show too, is if you sit on your disruption for too long and don't put enough pressure, then they can cobble hands to go over the top. And if you just tap out to advance your board, you can die that way too.
Forcible Ponder on that Ponder there from Sidher. Not bad.
I don't know if he has a second land.
I don't know if he does either.
Or it looks like maybe it's a Wasteland?
Yeah, doesn't look like it's a colored source.
Really hard to say no to 2 Force of Wills here, though.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Really hard to say no.
He's going to keep it. He's going to draw 1 Force of Will. Feeling pretty cozy. Going to play that Wasteland. Pretty telling second land to play, though.
Yeah, means he's out.
Attack for 1, pass the turn back. You can really see the difference between Nimble Mongoose when it doesn't have Threshold and Delver of Secrets when it flips and then sets to Operation. It's a world difference in the clock and the pressure that it puts on Jensen.
Yeah, there's some decks that don't really care about Delver Secrets at all, like Lightning Bolt decks, where Nimble Mongoose is your best threat. But outside of those matchups, Delver is definitely the threat you want.
Brainstorm.
I know, for example, when I'm playing Burn, Delver of Secrets is a thumbs up for me, and Nimble Mongoose is a big thumbs down.
Yeah. So, more manipulation. And it always brings up the age-old question to me in this matchup. are you supposed to counter their manipulation, their cantrips, and all that stuff so they set up, or are you supposed to just save your counters for the big turn? But the big turn, they've already got everything that they want to try to beat you on the big turn.
I think the more and more you're compressing the length of the game, the stronger the argument goes for trying to break up either the mana or the cantripping or whatever. If you anticipate the game going long, and at this point Ricky kind of does, he has very little pressure and he's missing red mana and so forth, you kind of have to keep your powder dry and fight over the namesake cards. It's really hard to win a game, I think, fighting over the ponders and the brainstorms.
Yeah.
If there's a spot where you can cash in a daze, something like that, maybe there's an argument, but he certainly can't be firing off Force of Wills in these cantrips.
Okay. So often, as I've covered this matchup a lot, which is unsurprising. What you often see is the big turn happens where they're going to go, all right, gotta cast Show and Tell now, and they put the old Gristlebrand into play, and they end up always winning the fight with the ability to pay for Spell Pierce, or daze or something because of their Soul Ring lands, and be able to counter back and things of that nature. So
yeah, it's a tough bind, and Ricky's start was not great here, and the Wasteland is really good for Jensen for two reasons. One, it means that Ricky just can't advance his board. It means he's out of lands. Secondly, he has information now that this is a card he has to play around. So instead of there being this guessing game, he knows, I can't play into Wasteland yet. So
another cantrip and a ponder. 1, 2, and 3. Force of Will, Show and Tell. I'm not sure what that last one was. I think it may have been a Spell Pierce, but either way, pretty good.
And it's really easy to
not good enough.
focus on the cards that kill you,
Yeah.
whether it's Gristlebrand or Emrakul, and the cards that choose them to play. But so much of the power of this deck comes from these cantrips. I mean, it might look like Jensen's just sort of spinning his wheels here, but what he's actually doing is assembling a hand that can go through multiple pieces of disruption that Ricky can present.
Yeah, no, this isn't spinning the wheels at all. I mean, think about the modern format.
Yeah.
And how these sort of cards are not legal.
Right.
Because they're so powerful in setting up for combo decks, and they're all legal here as 4-ofs. So Sidher draws another Force of Will. We knew that was coming from the Ponder, so he's got a lot of protection.
Yeah, it looks like Daze and 2 Force of Wills is what he can offer up here. So, but I don't, even that, as much as that is, in the absence of him applying more pressure to Jensen, I don't think is going to be able to hold him off. I mean, look how much cantripping Jensen's done.
Yeah.
The quality of his hand is pretty well set up. Even though we can't see it, I'm willing to speculate he's got a lot going on.
There's a Delver to add to the board. So now, if you're Jensen, you have to worry about certain counter spells now. Daze, Force of Will.
Yep.
Nothing else. Show and Tell off the top. Well, looks like he might be moving in here. Here's a Lotus Petal. Ask the question. That's fine. Lotus Petal. Also fine. Show and Tell. Is this fine? It's time to have a fight. What do you say?
Yep.
How are you going to fight is the question if you're Sidher. You're going to start with Force of Will. You're going to remove Stifle. Then it says Fight Back. Force of Will, removing Spell Pierce. Could have just cast Spell Pierce there. Force of Will, removing Daze. Wants to make sure that he can pay for a card like Daze. Show until it gets countered. Jensen says pass turn back. So, Sidher is safe for now.
Yeah. Survives the first salvo, but his hand now is, I believe he has a Tarmogoyf?
Well, Ponder's going to flip that, so Ponder actually pretty good here. Inside Celebration going to show up. I think he's got 5 cards in his graveyard. Actually, it looks like, yeah, actually 5.
Yep.
2 Force of Wills. Looks like 2 cantrips and a land.
I anticipate Ricky, I guess he's going to go for Threshold this turn.
Yeah. See Goose, Ice, Ponder. To go on with the Bolt and a Tarmogoyf from the grip.
This looks like a shuffle to me.
Yeah, it feels like a shuffle to me too. Ice isn't going to get anything done. Ponder can't cast his turn. And the Goose, well, there's already one that's loose. So let's see if he's going to keep or not. Yeah, he's going to shuffle.
A fetch land would be a really good draw here. Or even just a red source of mana as it turns on the Bolt. And the Bolt shrinks the clock by a full turn.
And if you want to get real crazy, if you really want to up the ante on the clock, just wasteland your own wasteland and turn that Mongoose on and just get after it.
Well, I think he's still, even in that world, he's still 3 turns away. I guess he's 4 right now. 4, 8, 12, yeah. Okay, so, all right, he drew a fetch land, which is pretty ideal here, as it allows him to get a Volcanic Island, turn on Threshold this turn, and put Jensen on effectively a 2-turn clock with his 2 3-power creatures and the lightning bolt in his hand.
Yeah. So fetch land will make it so there's 7 cards in the graveyard. Mongoose allows him to attack. Fetch land allow it to attack for 6. Put Jensen down to 8. Bolt makes it 5.
Right. So 2 turns here.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting too because what's going to end up happening here, or potential to end up happening, is the attack puts him down to 8. Bolt puts him down to 5. Let's say the Jensen casts a show and tell, puts Emrakul into play. You go attack. Put them down to 2, and then if you draw a bolt, you can actually win.
Yeah, you can actually survive certain show and tell draws.
Yeah.
He actually definitely survives show and tell if it's Emrakul because he gets to put his Tarmogoyf into play.
Yeah, that's true too.
So I don't know if Ricky is debating getting a tropical island to cast his Goyf here, or if he's getting a volcanic for the bolt.
Yeah, you mentioned a little bit earlier when we watched Ricky play the Rug Delver Mirror. Part of the reason that people play Taiga in their deck are situations like this, where Taiga's obviously got a cost associated to it, but searching for a Taiga with that skeleton right now would actually be kind of good.
Yeah, we give him a lot of flexibility.
Yeah.
The problem with a Taiga is that sometimes you draw a Taiga, and your deck is all blue cantrips.
It's going to very hesitantly, get a volcanic island. So he's happy enough so far. Jensen's going to shuffle and present that back to Sidher in just a moment.
Yeah, Ricky really was tanking on that one.
Yeah. But by getting a volcanic, pretty loud declaration that he has a bolt. So sneak attack time. There it is.
Yep.
Activate. Rawr. Ain't it fun?
Okay.
Ain't it fun? And he's just gonna scoop it up. Oh, sorry, he was underneath.
Yeah, he's under.
Normally they are above 15. That's what I'm used to with Emrakul. It normally knocks him down to 2. So yeah, that Emrakul sneak attack Emrakul is gonna get the job done. And Jensen will win game number 1.
That's a good deck,
isn't it? Isn't it fun?
That's
to
a
play
good deck.
Well, it's our final premium question time. 12 months are going to be given out right now. We'll announce the winner at the conclusion of this finals match. So get your Twitters open, #SCG Premium for your answer. And again, it'll be about accuracy, not speed. We'll select the winner of the people who do get it correct at the conclusion of the match. Mr. Sullivan, take it away.
So this is actually a little bit challenging. It requires a marginal amount of research on your part, which is more than we generally ask of these trivia questions.
That's true.
We're in Los Angeles right now.
Yeah.
Next week, we're going to be somewhere else for another open series.
Yeah.
Name that location. Again, tweet it at SCG Live, #SCG Premium, and one of the correct responses will be selected at random and receive a 1 free year of StarCityGames.com premium content.
Yeah. It'll be myself and Shaheen Cerrone next week.
Oh, awesome. I did a show with Shaheen in Minneapolis and really enjoyed it. So
yeah, should be fun. We'll see if Esper can get back on the radar in Standard. Make him a happy boy.
Oh yeah, we were a little, we're a little oil and water when it comes to the decks that we prefer. But I did enjoy the show that I did with him.
Well, we're gonna take a look at sideboards here. You got Sidher on the play for game number 2, and in here we're gonna find a Grafdigger's Cage, a Zoran Orb, a Sulfur Elemental, a Flusterstorm, 3 Pyroblast, 3 Submerge, a Vendilion Click, a Chase the Mind Sculptor, a Life from the Loam, 2 copies of Rough and Tumble, and an Ancient Grudge. So of these cards, gotta like Pyroblast.
I'm down.
That's a pretty easy one. Flusterstorm is okay.
Big fan.
Yeah. Vendilion Click, sure.
I'm with you.
The rest?
No.
No.
No, I like 2 Pyroblast, a Flusterstorm, and a Vendilion Click. Get down on that for sure.
Jensen's side, we've seen Sneak and Show players board in Blood Moon before against Rug Delver, and if you're able to resolve a Blood Moon, they can't do anything.
Right.
They just have to beat you with what they have in play, which oftentimes is not good enough, but sometimes it is.
Yes, I've seen this go both ways. I've seen a Rug Delver deck get locked out very early in the game by Blood Moon. I've also seen the Rug Delver deck get a board into play in the first couple of turns, be able to ignore Blood Moon, and still disrupt with Force of Will. I think the difference between being on the play and being on the draw is really big with Blood Moon.
Yeah.
I mean, Jensen has draws that are turn 1 Blood Moon, for example, while he's on the play, which the Rug Delver deck, it's Force of Will or bust. They can't play Magic if that resolves. It's a much riskier play when Jensen's on the draw, but I still think it's worth bringing in.
You see the other cards there. 3 Leon's Sanctity, 2 Echoing Truth, a Red Elemental Blast, 2 Through the Breach, 2 Jace the Mind Sculptor, and 2 copies of Pyroclasm. Red Elemental Blast, a pretty easy one to bring in, let you win those counter wars. 2 copies of Through the Breach. I think that Show and Tell and Sneak Attack are good enough. I don't think he needs additional effects.
Yeah, I feel like Through the Breach is more for mirror match type situations where Show and Tell really isn't the path that you want to go. So I think Jensen will just stay. Ricky's deck is pretty well set up with his various Spell Pierces and Wastelands and Flusterstorms to fight over a card like Through the Breach, so I think that's going to stay in Jensen's sideboard.
And then the last card I do want to address really quickly is just a card like Pyroclasm, which can take down Insectile Aberration or Nibble Mongoose before it does get loose. And, then you're able to actually keep setting up like we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, but, if he's on Goyf, if he gets the threshold. And again, I think that the Sneak and Show player should err on the side of bringing in as few cards as possible.
Yeah.
If you're kind of on the fence about its utility in a matchup, you're probably better off leaving it in the sideboard because the worst thing that you can do is dilute your deck too much. I mean, you have to stay honest to yourself. This deck requires a density of, search and sneak attack / show and tell effects and the big payoff creatures. There's just not that much wiggle room. So you only want to bring in the cards, I feel, where you're really sure it's going to be productive.
All right, well, both players just about ready. Going to present the decks over, shuffle them up, and game 2 will be underway here momentarily. So, Jensen, who has won an Open already with Sneak and Show. He's got some top 8s with this deck, but he did win in Salt Lake City. Again, finalist at the Invitational last week in Indianapolis, too, before losing to Brad Nelson in the Sneak and Show mirror. So, he's looking for a little bit of redemption, wants to take another trophy home with him.
Ricky.
Oh, I've seen this. This is the Hollywooding that we've seen before from Sidher.
I don't know. I think Ricky's pretty honest with his body language in positions like this. I don't think he has the nuts.
Yeah.
He might keep, but I don't think his hand's excellent.
He's going to start with no Mongoose, not a Delver. Off a Tropical Island, pass that turn back. So Sidher's at 19, and we're probably going to see some canned tripping from Jensen. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No.
Come on. No. Come on. Not like this.
Actually, just like this.
Ricky's barely gotten to do anything. Come on, man.
Well, he cast a creature.
He's got a Nimble Mongoose.
All right, daze it. Force of Will. Force back.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Right.
All right.
All right.
So Ricky did have the
nuts. He did have the nuts there. I told you, Hollywooden. I told you.
Now things have become very favorable for Ricky.
Absolutely. Got another no Mongoose to add to the board. He does have 3 cards in his graveyard. He's working his way towards Threshold. Jensen draws and plays a Scalding Tarn. He's got a Gristlebrand, and he's got a Sneak Attack in the grip. It would be a real shockaroo if he rolled off a Soul Land.
It's worth asking if Ricky has any more disruption. You think that the turn 1 daze and Force of Will would be enough, but I've seen too much at this point.
The geese are going to come on in. Maybe Sidher's going to play a Tarmogoyf here, really up the ante.
Yeah, that would be an excellent addition.
I'm inclined to agree with you.
All right, the last card in his hand is Lightning Bolt, so he's probably, I guess he's probably dead this turn, if I had to guess.
Yeah, probably pretty likely.
Yeah, I think he's probably dead this turn.
Draw a card.
It's a Soul Land.
Yeah,
oh my
obviously.
God, come on, you gotta be kidding me. Come on.
Oh, there's Volcanic. Is this supposed to search out Basic Mountain? Does he have Basic Mountain in his deck?
No, he does not.
Okay, never mind.
So, I mean, he's still, kind of exposed here.
All right, Soul Land. Yep, Sneak Attack, go. So the attack will be for 4, 5, 6. Bolt makes it 7, 8, 9.
He can't get a threshold with what's in his hand,
13,
right?
Yeah. What's he draw?
It appears to be Spell Pierce.
Not you.
Oh,
That's Brainstorm.
Okay.
Brainstorm's actually good.
Brainstorm could be very good here. Needs to find a Wasteland.
Yeah, right now. All right, Brainstorm. 1, 2, 3. Need a Wasteland. Probe, Ponder, Probe.
Yes, he can redraw with Ponder here.
So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's not gonna be enough to do it right now.
Can he get to? He can't get to Threshold, right?
He can if he. Well, Brainstorm's gonna put the 5th card in the graveyard, and then Probe once, Probe twice.
Okay.
Yeah, so that gets him there.
So he has 3, 6, 10.
Yep, Grizzlebrand, obviously. Don't worry, gonna draw Emrakul. Probe again. So peel 2. 1. And actually, Oh my goodness, if Jensen draws Emrakul, it's actually just game.
Yeah.
That's crazy to even think about. Threshold's there. 1, 2, 3, 7 exactly.
So he does not have Jensen dead, assuming that Tarmogoyf is accurately reflected right now.
Because you've got artifact, you've got instant, you've got land, you've got source in the graveyard. There are no creatures down there.
I still feel like it's worth it for Ricky to cantrip because Wasteland is so awesome here.
Yeah. It's absolutely insane if he finds Wasteland. It's got Ponder and Bolt.
And you're so far. You can't kill Jensen this turn, and you're so past lethal the following turn.
Yeah.
That just give yourself a shot.
See a Ponder there. Yeah, see him checking the graveyard, make sure everything's kosher.
Just confirming threshold.
Yeah. You see Vendilion click Bolt and a Pyroblast.
This would be a really good time to roll off that Emrakul.
Wouldn't be the worst time. I think he's going to shuffle. Yeah, I think he's just digging for Wasteland, which you mentioned.
Yeah.
Because it's so good if he finds it.
Yeah.
All right, shuffle up.
This is a big one. I mean, Jensen's not out of the woods yet by any stretch, even if he feeds this Wasteland.
Oh!
There it is.
Ooh!
There it is.
What a huge draw. Lotus Petal. Alright, so what does he do here? Because he goes down to... So he's at 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, so he's at 5?
Well, he can't just... Well, if he doesn't know about the pull, he can't just ship in, right? He doesn't have a way to win the game this turn if he just plays Gristlebrand, sends it in, and then draws 7. That's not a path.
Yeah. So let's see. So Jensen, boy, this is getting complicated. So if he just plays Petal, sacks it, plays Gristlebrand on defense, which you saw last game, makes it so that he blocks Tarmogoyf. He goes up to 12 and then down to 6, so he can't actually activate it.
Yeah, he's missing both red mana. At that point, he's missing both red mana and a creature to go off with.
So Jensen says, all right, let's go. In for 7. Go up to 12, and then back down to 5.
So he needs to find
Red
a
Gristlebrand.
red sword and a Gristlebrand to block with.
Got a Blood Moon. You find anything useful? He's got a red land. A couple of them, because he's got fetch lands. Blood Moon doesn't do anything right now, obviously. So there's 2 mana from the city, floating, play a land, sacrifice that. Yep, alright, sacrifice this. Go down to 4. Now, Nimble Mongoose, it's important to note, can't be the target of spells or abilities from anybody, right?
Correct.
Okay. So a little blocking
Yeah,
Mongoose
he can't bolt.
action.
Nope,
yeah, that
it
can't
is.
happen.
This is pre-hexproof. It is untargetable.
There that goes. Does he have a Gristlebrand in that grip? Pyroblast the draw? Yeah, now Sidher. Nice. I like that. He's putting Sidher to the test now.
Yep.
Yeah, Sidher, yeah, shrug. I have to attack. Yeah, and that's it. All right.
Yep.
All right. We're going to game number 3 here.
That was exciting.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was absolutely awesome.
All it took was Daze, Force, and an awesome clock on the play and a timely Wasteland to barely win. That's all.
That's it.
Not a tough configuration of cards to cobble together.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Game 3 we go between Jensen and Sidher, Sneak and Show, and Rug Delver. What an awesome second game.
Yeah, that was incredible. A lot of incredible draws from both players there. A lot of excitement.
Hey, one good peel deserves another, am I right?
Oh, absolutely. No.
Both players smiling, having a good
loose.
time, yeah. Saying, wow, one top deck, another top deck. So this let's see if the third game can even compare to what we just watched. Jensen looks like he's going to do some re-sideboarding here. Sidher's shuffling. Looks like he's happy with his configuration.
It wouldn't surprise me if if there's a swap that's happening and involves Daze.
Yeah.
It's so much better on the play than on the draw.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Only 2 of them there, though.
Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of them. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some sort of, I have misdirection when I'm on the draw and I have Daze when I'm on the play sort of thing going on.
I mean, there's a big difference between being on the play and on the draw.
Yep.
In a lot of matchups in Legacy. So always going back to the sideboard certainly matters.
Yep. When the games can end on turn 2, the person on the play gets 67% of the turns in the game, which is a pretty big edge.
Might want to reevaluate.
Yeah.
Potentially. So who's it going to be? Is it going to be the Hall of Famer? Who's been on just
a real tear.
A legendary tear.
Really tear.
Over the past 6 months. Or Ricky Sidher, who lost in the finals of a PTQ a couple weeks ago to Michael Hedrick.
Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah.
Who else?
Yeah, looking to get back onto the Pro Tour. Looking to take a trophy home with them back to Sacramento, too.
Yep. Be a big win, a big notch in Ricky's belt for his physical, paper Magic play.
Absolutely. Again, a big-time Magic Online player.
Right.
And a very healthy resume there. And has played in some Pro Tours and stuff of that nature, so a very skilled magician.
Yeah. Lost to Hedrick in the finals and probably had to, go to Chili's with him afterwards and pretend like he was happy with what happened.
Yeah.
And, I'm just speculating, but I just get that vibe. TGI Fridays or what have you.
And Fridays on the West Coast. Yeah. Applebee's.
Jensen leads off with a Misty Rainforest. Finds a basic island. Game 3 of the finals underway. And given the speed, I assume Jensen said that he was just passing the turn.
Yeah. No cantripping, as it were. Just sacking right away so he doesn't have to worry about stifle.
Yep. Playing around it all.
Yep. Does Sidher have something to lead off with? No. Nope. Now this is exactly, if you're a Sneak and Show player, what you want to see. Jensen gonna play a Lotus Petal. And now Brainstorm.
I don't believe Jensen has a second land yet.
I don't think so either. 1, 2, 3. Did he find one? Uh-oh. Can't get read off him when he makes that face.
No.
It's really frustrating.
Probably just that something complicated is happening.
Yeah.
Something worthy of the man's attention.
It's going in the tank.
It's possible that I think I might have seen him draw a 2-mana land, in which case he has the option of just trying to jam Blood Moon here, or Show and Tell. Or he can try to take a more conservative approach. When Ricky isn't doing anything, when he's not applying pressure or cantripping,
you don't have to rush.
Yeah, it's more of an incentive for Jensen to also sit on his hands for a little while. But there is also a certain appeal to trying to end the game on the spot, either through Blood Moon or through Show and Tell.
There's your 2-mana land. Sacrifice this. Cast a Blood Moon. Time to fight. Because if this resolves, that is. There's Spell Pierce. Oh boy, we're about to fight. Force. Ponder. Daze.
Brutal.
Daze is brutal. Force back. Move Show and Tell. Force.
Has it. Ricky has it all again.
Yeah, just figuring out what blue card to remove.
He has Ponder and Brainstorm.
Yep. That's Ponder. So Jensen moved in and went for it. And he also, as you noticed, now he's like, I don't want to say Brainstorm lock, but he knows the top 2 cards of his deck.
Yep.
So Blood Moon no good. Tried to win the game. Gataxian broke nothing. Stone Bricks. Bolt off the top.
But yeah, Ricky has nothing going on, I mean, Justin has some time.
And doesn't even have a Wasteland either. Draw a card. Pass. Draw. Stifle. Sidher can afford to Brainstorm now because he's a fetch land.
Yeah, and he also needs to just try to close this game out now that he has Jensen reeling.
1, 2, and 3. See if he can find a threat. Force, Stifle, land, so no threat.
Yep, still nothing.
Yeah, but the Force Will's pretty good, so looks like he's going to put some lands back here. See his hand right now. Double Stifle, Bolt, Force of Will. Jensen, of course, knows the top 2 cards of his deck from the Brainstorm, so just draws his card and says go, and doesn't even want to play a land if he drew one because City of Traders.
Yep.
Would just die.
Jensen just hanging out for the time being.
Yeah. And again, I think Jensen's plays right that turn when he has double Force, double blue card, and a Blood Moon. Blood Moon resolves, it's just game over.
Yep.
So you're going to make your move. And force your opponent to just have it all.
And it had to be all of it.
Yeah.
And there's Tarmogoyf. There we go. The last piece of the puzzle.
Yep. So big top deck there from Sidher. We'll see just how big Tarmogoyf is. You see there's an artifact, and there's an enchantment in the graveyard, and all that stuff. Jensen, brainstorming. 1, 2, 3. Couple of blue cards. There's a show and tell in there among them.
A red blast, a volcanic.
He can come back from this.
Yep.
No fetch land though.
Yeah. The brainstorm lock is a little rough here, and he doesn't really want to add any of those other lands to the table yet because of the City of Traders.
There's a big Tarmogoyf.
We know that there's a bolt in Ricky's hand too,
So attack for 5, 10. That puts
it's 3 turns.
Yeah, it's a 3-turner. He's got some work to do to claw out of this one.
And he might not be able to hang on to the City of Traders. He might just need to play his volcanic into play.
That's what I think too.
Especially now that he has a second City of Traders.
So he's going to put that back. He's going to play the volcanic and pass the turn back. So Jensen loses 1 city, but he does have another one. Draw a card there for Sidher. And if you're Jensen, you got to fade some Wastelands now too.
Yeah.
Wastelands and just an actual time walk in for 5. Gonna knock Jensen down to 12. Pass a turn back. Jensen untaps and draws. City of Traders passed. I can't afford to play it. Sidher going to draw. Draws a brainstorm, I believe. Attack for 5. Puts you down to 7. Pass. Brainstorm on the end step from Jensen. 1, 2, 3. Blood. Oof.
That's not it.
Nope. Blood Moon. Blood Moon. Bunch of do-nothings.
We know again, Ricky with the bolt in his hand.
Yep. No fetch line here from Jensen either.
And
And that is going to do it. Ricky Sidher with Rug Delvers, your Star City Games Legacy Open champion here in Los Angeles, California.
Finally, someone was able to stop the incredible run of William Jensen through this tournament.
Yeah.
Only required, 4 pieces of disruption on turn 1, plus a clock. Not asking a lot here, but congratulations to Ricky, a well-deserved champion.
Wow. What a really, really good 3-game match.